Welcome to the Heartful Healing Hub podcast, a soul nourishing space where stories become medicine and healing is woven through sound, energy, and remembrance. Here we explore gentle conversations, sound, and reflections that support emotional balance, nervous system calm, and a return to your own inner wisdom. I'm so glad you're here. Take a breath, settle in, and allow yourself to arrive. In this week's episode, as part of my Joy as Medicine series, we will explore yet another quieter expression of joy. Today, we are talking about what your body's version of joy may look like. Welcome back. I'm your host, Deanne, sound frequency and energetic healing guide and fellow traveler on the path of embodied wellness. Before we begin, I would like to invite you to pause just for a moment, not to do anything, not to change your breath, simply to arrive. If it feels right, let your shoulders soften a little. Let your jaw unclench. Let the space around your eyes widen. This episode is not about fixing anything. It is simply an invitation to listen. Joy may not be what we were taught it was. We talk about joy a lot, but usually we talk about it as an emotion, something uplifting, something energizing, something we're supposed to feel more of. And often, without realizing it, we turn joy into another expectation, another thing to strive for, another way to measure whether we're doing life right. But joy is not the same thing as happiness, and it definitely is not the same thing as positivity. Joy doesn't mean feeling good all the time. It doesn't mean smiling through discomfort. And it doesn't even mean reframing everything into gratitude when your system is already overwhelmed. In fact, when positivity is forced, it often creates more tension, not less. Here is something we rarely hear. Joy is not primarily a mental state. It is, in fact, a nervous system state. Joy arises when the body feels safe enough to soften, when our system is no longer bracing, when it no longer feels the need to stay alert, guarded, or on edge. So many of us were conditioned, especially us ladies, to push through discomfort, to override our body's signals, to keep going, even when something inside is quietly asking us to slow down. And while that can work in short bursts, it becomes exhausting when it turns into a way of living. Our nervous system doesn't respond to pressure with joy. It responds with protection. Tight shoulders, shallow breathing, mental fog, fatigue, disconnection. Any of this sound familiar to you? In those states, joy is not gone, though. It is simply unreachable. Have you ever wondered why thinking positive doesn't always work? Goodness knows I've tried for years. It would be because thinking your way into joy actually rarely works. You can't logic yourself into softness. You can't mindset your way into safety. When our body is still bracing, the door to joy is closed. Not because we're doing something wrong, but because our nervous system is protecting us. Joy tends to arrive after regulation, after grounding, after the breath deepens, after the nervous system realizes it doesn't have to stay on guard. And when that happens, joy doesn't burst in, it seeps in. Now, this is the part that surprises people. Joy doesn't always feel like excitement. It doesn't always feel like motivation or inspiration. Very often, joy feels like relief. Your shoulders drop, the exhale lengthens, the inner pressure eases. That softening, that moment where your body says, "Oh, I can rest here." That is joy in its most honest form. Not loud, not performing, simply quiet, subtle, real. Have you been feeling off lately? Listen in. So, if you've been finding it hard to focus, hard to create, hard to feel inspired, this does not mean you've lost. It does not mean you've lost your spark. And it also does not mean you're doing something wrong. You're not. It may simply mean your nervous system is asking to settle before it opens again. We live in a culture that rewards pushing, but the body opens up to permission. Now, instead of asking yourself, what can I do to feel happier? Or what is wrong with me? You might try a different question this week. And that would be, what helps my body feel a little safer right now? Not forever, not perfectly, simply right now. It could be something very small, slowing your pace by 10%, turning down the volume just a little, letting your breath move a little deeper, listening to a familiar sound, sitting in stillness without any expectation. And please trust me when I say these are not indulgences. They are signals of safety. And safety is the fertile ground joy grows in. And this is also why sound, rhythm, and gentle frequency work can be supportive. Because what they actually do is that they bypass our conscious mind and speak directly to the nervous system. They don't ask you to try, they invite you to receive. And joy does not need to be summoned, it doesn't want to be chased. It emerges naturally when the body feels supported enough to relax and soften. In closing, I would like to say that if joy feels distant right now, let that be okay. Joy doesn't rush, it doesn't demand, It simply waits. And often it returns, not as a burst of happiness, but as a quiet exhale you didn't even realize you were holding. So be gentle with yourself this week. Let regulation come first. Joy will follow. And if you feel drawn, I would like to offer you something gentle. If your spark has been feeling a little dim, if you know joy is still there, but you can't quite reach it yet, I created a quiet, private offering called Sacred Spark. It is a short soundscape paired with a simple journal, not to fix you, not to motivate you or push you forward, but to help you warm back into yourself. This is not about doing more. It is about remembering what's already alive within you. You can settle in with a candle, a cup of cocoa or tea, and your journal, and allow the body to lead the way back to warmth, ease, and presence. I'll share the link at the top of the show notes. Until next time, be kind to yourself, move slowly, soften the noise, and remember your rhythm. Thank you for spending time with us inside the Heartful Healing Hub. If this story moved you, please consider sharing this episode or leaving a comment. Your words help others find this sacred space. If you or someone you love has a healing journey to share, we'd love to hear from you. And finally, if you would enjoy a gentle way to unwind after listening, visit the show notes to download your free tea ritual guide, Sip and Soften, a soul-soothing gift to nourish your inner healer. Until next time, be kind to yourself and trust what has always been within you. And remember, you are whole, you are healing, you are home.